So you want to learn Spanish? You've come to the right place. This is a series of Spanish videos for high school students and anyone else that wants to learn Spanish in a simple and fun way.
Hola, bienvenido. This is part 2 of the series of videos that will get you talking like an expert during a casual day-to-day conversation. In this video, we're going to talk about palabras or words and the articles that generally precede them. Why? Because it's my mission to get you to a point where you can call yourself bilingual. Remember that smiley face from the first video? I'm fluent in 4 languages, and something that has helped me a lot when learning a new one is knowing the classification of words. So let's take a few seconds to learn about the ones we're going to use in this video. We're going to talk about nouns and articles. The nouns, or sustantivos, are in a nutshell things like silla, vaso, or mesa. The articles, or artículos, are the words that we use before naming those things, like the or an. For example, we say a table or the chair. Got it? Muy bien. Now let's go a bit deeper. You might have noticed that in English, things or nouns can be either singular or plural. For example, 1 table, 2 tables. Table singular, tables plural. In Spanish, things, sustantivos, can also be singular or plural, just as in English. We only add s or es, same as in English, in a very simple way. For example, mesa, it's singular, mesas, it's plural. So again, as a general rule, we add s or es to the thing, to the noun, to the sustantivo. But how do I know when to add s or es to turn a singular into a plural? Well, again, as a general rule, if this palabra or word ends in a vowel, then we just add the s. Whereas if the palabra or word ends in a consonant, we are going to add es. Let's practice. Mesa, table. It ends in a vowel, therefore we just add the s, making it mesas, the plural of mesa. What about pared, wall? It ends in a consonant, therefore we add es, making it into paredes, walls. So we have silla, or chair, vaso, glass, cuchillo, or knife, yes, that's a knife, sorry, mantel, or tablecloth, tenedor or fork, and cuchara or spoon. Let's turn those into the plural form. Let's start with silla. It ends in an A, which is a vowel, we just add an S. Simple. Vaso, another vowel, S. Cuchillo, again, a vowel, S. What about mantel? It ends in a consonant, we add ES, manteles. Tenedor, again, a consonant, es, tenedores. And finally, cuchara ends in a, which is a vowel, therefore cucharas is the plural. Now, this is probably a good time to tell you that we also classify our sustantivos or nouns or things by gender. Yes, we do that. Anyway, our sustantivos can be either masculine or feminine. How to tell? Well, we of course have many exceptions, but a general rule, and I emphasize the general, is feminine are going to be the words that end in A, and everything else is going to be masculine or any other vowel. You're probably wondering, what if the word ends in a consonant? Then we have to look at the second to last letter. So, is it an A? Great, then the word is a girl. Well, most of the times. Let's take a look at tenedor. Is it masculine or feminine? Well, it ends in an R, so we need to look at the second to last letter, which is an O. Great, it's a boy. forks are boys. Now, is it singular or plural? Again, we take a look at the ending of that word. It doesn't have any S's or ES's, ends in an R, therefore it's just one fork, singular. Mantel, tablecloth. It ends in an L, so it's singular. Second to last letter is an E, great, masculine. What about silla? Ends in an A, then it's singular. Again, we look at the A, it's feminine. What about mesa? Again, doesn't end in an S, therefore it's singular, ends in an A, feminine. Vaso, on the other hand, is also singular because it doesn't end in S or ES, but ends in an O, which means that it's masculine. Now we have cuchillo, which ends in an O, therefore it's singular and masculine. Tenedor is also going to be singular and masculine because it ends in a consonant that is not an S, therefore it's singular, and second to last letter is an O, which means it's masculine. What about cuchara, spoon? Cuchara ends in an A, which means again singular, feminine. Now pay attention, this is an exception, excepción. And it's an important one because it's honestly a word that we use a lot. Agua, which means water. It ends in an A, so we would think it's feminine, right? Wrong, it's masculine. And it doesn't really have a plural form, not at least in a colloquial way. Maybe you can find a plural form of agua in poetry, but let's be honest, how many of us speak in a poetic way? Other examples are hada or fairy, mente or mind, and gente or people. Let's spend some time understanding the articles, because that's the whole point of caring so much about a word being singular or plural, or masculine or feminine. In this case, Spanish classifies articles the same way as English does. So the articles are going to be definidos, like the, or indefinidos, like a or n. It's a more broad or vague way of speaking. For example, I go to the hospital, I'm referring to one hospital, or I'm sitting on a chair, any chair. We use artículos definidos when talking about specific things. Again, example, the living room table. There's only one table in the living room, so we're talking about specifically that table. And we use the indefinidos when we talk about non-specific things. For example, a table, it could be any table. Now, remember how nouns can be singular or plural as well as feminine or masculine in Spanish? Well, the articles follow the exact same rule. So let's spend some time on the definidos first. So the artículos definidos can be feminine or masculine as well as singular or plural. A feminine singular is going to be la, and a masculine singular is going to be el, whereas the plural form of those are going to be las or los. Those are all translations for the English word the. Let's work on the indefinidos now. Remember that those are translations for the word a or n. For example, a chair, an apple. The feminine singular form is going to be una, and the masculine singular form is going to be un, whereas the plural form are going to be unas and unos respectively. How to tell when to use one or the other? Well, it absolutely depends on the word that follows it. Let's work with this word, mesa. Remember what it means? Table. Good. So it ends in A, which means that it's feminine, and there's no S, which means that it's singular. So depending on the context, we're going to use either la or una. Tenedor, on the other hand, is going to be masculine and also singular because there's no S. So we're going to use el or un depending on the context. Let's try to turn those palabras into plural. So we have mesa and tenedor. For mesa, we just add the S, and we're going to say las mesas or unas mesas. And tenedor, we're going to say tenedores, adding es. So it's going to be los tenedores o unos tenedores. So, in a nutshell, this is a quick diagram in order for us to realize the thought process that goes into deciding if the word is singular, plural, masculine, or feminine. We're going to be using it at first, and then eventually it's going to come naturally to us once we're fluent, and we won't even have to think about it anymore. So we should ask ourselves, does the noun end in A? The answer could be either yes or no. If the answer is yes, the next question is it plural? And again, the answer is going to be yes or no. If the answer is yes, then we know that we're going to use either las or unas. And if the answer is no, we're going to use la or una, simply the singular version of las and unas. Now, what if the word doesn't end in an A? Then again, we ask ourselves, is it plural? If the answer is yes, we're going to use los or unos, and if the answer is no, we're going to use the singular version of those, meaning el or un. Now let's put all this information together and practice a little bit. We have the word mesa, which again means table. The plural is going to be mesas, so we're going to use la or una if it's singular, or las or unas if it's plural. What about tenedor, fork? If it's singular, we're going to use el or un, and if it's plural, tenedores, we're going to use los or unos. And finally, silla is going to be la or una silla, or las or unas sillas if it's plural. After all this information, the lesson is officially over, and you're welcome to subscribe and comment with all those new words that you've been learning. In this video, we focused our vocabulary on things we use for eating. I'll challenge you now, te desafío, to list 10 things that you find in the kitchen. Find the Spanish word for it, and then add an article in front of it. That's gonna be your tarea, homework. Don't forget to comment your homework below so I can check it and give you my feedback. And remember, tonight when you sit down for dinner, try to name in Spanish as many things as you can find on your table.